sanctioned for lying. Authorities have seized the billions of pesos worth of shabu and cocaine in just 2 drug hauls this week. The LTFRB says a jeepney fare hike is now inevitable, but the agency is still not sure how much the increase should be. Fast, focused, and fearless, here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Denise Tan. A Senate panel has cited in contempt Socorro Bayanihan Services Incorporated leader Jayren Sequilario or alias Aguila and 3 others. These include Mamerto Galanida, Karen Sanico Jr., and Janeth Ahok. Senator Risa Hontiveros made the motion during the Senate hearing on the group's alleged abuses, which involved child abuse and forced marriage. The 4 repeatedly denied that minors were forced into marriage in their community. One witness testified that SBSI even allows rape among members who refuses to be married off.
Pumayag yung parents mo na ikasal ka?
Oo, kasi yun daw ang laws to be able to go to heaven, Your Honor.
Di kukulang sa 4 na mga witnesses nag-a-attest dito sa child marriages sa kapihan. Kasama na po yung isang actual party to the marriage. Patuloy pa ba kayo nagde-deny?
Hindi po. Walang child marriages sa Madam Senator. Kasi po, kung meron dapat yung mga parents mismo magko-complain.
Wala po, ma'am.
Mr. Chair, sa ganyang mga sagot, I respectfully move to cite in contempt Jayren Sequilario, Mamerto Galanida, Janeth Ahok, and Karen Sanico. I so move.
Moving on, the government is yet to decide how much the fare hike will be after hearing the petition of jeepney groups today. And while drivers and operators wait for an increase in base fare, they want the distribution of fuel subsidy fast-tracked. Gerard de la Peña with the details.
The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board tackled the pending fare hike petitions filed by various transport groups. Despite it being urgent due to continuous oil price hikes, the board did not come up with a decision. Recall that Stop and Go Coalition, LTOP, and FEDJUDAP asked the board for a 2 peso hike in jeepney fares, while Pasang Masda, ALTODAP, and ACTO are seeking a 1 peso provisional fare increase, pending the board's decision on the request for a 5 peso minimum fare hike in Metro Manila. The LTFRB said Pasang Masda, ALTODAP, and ACTO should file for a supplementary petition to include the rest of the country in its request for a fare hike. The board committed to come up with a decision on October 3.
Po yan, we guarantee you by Tuesday afternoon, meron na po kami sigurong nakahandang desisyon dito. Kung nagkaisa po sana, kasi yung isang grupo ayaw ng provisional increase. Yung second group, amendahan pa ho yung kanilang hinihinging increase sa atin dahil yung unang hinihingi nila pang NCR lang. And then sabi nila, isasama daw nila ang buong Pilipinas. Kaya lang yung isang grupo parang umaayaw po sa provisional fare increase.
The LTFRB chief said that a fare hike is in the offing, but it has yet to decide on the amount.
Ang issue here is dalawa. Magbibigay ba o hindi? Ang inclination ng board is, of course, in favor of the transport groups. Pero ang issue magkano, we will have to differ, at least rely or take guidance from NEDA.
Meanwhile, transport groups remain optimistic that the board's decision will be favorable.
Nirespeto ko rin yung desisyon ng board na magsabit kami ng supplemental petition para makover na nationwide ang ating mga kasepian sa iba pang lugar. Na ito'y magandang indikasyon na sa paghihintay natin ng 5 araw, hindi lamang National Capital Region ang nakover, kundi nationwide.
They also complained about the slow distribution of fuel subsidy.
3 weeks na ho, ano nangyari? Anong gagawin namin? Kaya kinakalampag natin dito yung land bank. Ano ba ang nagiging problema doon sa 3 bilyong budget ng ating pamahalaan na supposedly dapat sa fuel subsidy? Anong gagawin niyo sa amin? Magtitiis ang driver? Hihintayin yung tumirik ang mga mata ng mga anak ng driver bago nyo kumibigyan ng subsidy na yan? Huwag tayong maglokohan dito, diretsuhan lang.
To date, out of the 250,000 beneficiaries under the LTFRB's watch, money allotted for almost 122,000 beneficiaries has already been sent to the Land Bank of the Philippines for distribution. But the Land Bank has only distributed the funds to over 74,000 drivers and operators due to some issues in the bank accounts of beneficiaries.
Yung mga card kasi kung minsan hindi nagagamit ng matagal, ang bangko po, pag nag-stale po yung account, hindi ho na magamit kaagad. So, kailangan nilang pumunta sa Land Bank para ho ma-update. Hindi ho ibig sabihin nito, hindi nila matatanggap.
For News 5, Gerard de la Peña, We Are One News.
The National Wages and Productivity Commission has approved pay hikes in 3 regions. That's effective October 16. In Cagayan Valley, there will be a 30 peso increase in the daily minimum wage. With that, the minimum wage of non-agriculture workers will climb to 450 pesos and 430 pesos for agriculture workers. In Central Luzon, the wage hike is at 40 pesos. This will bring the daily take-home pay of non-agri workers to 493 to 500 pesos. Agriculture workers will receive a salary of 454 to 470 pesos daily, while those in retail and service will get 475 to 489 pesos. Workers in Socsargen, meantime, will get a 35 peso increase in their minimum wage. That brings the total daily pay for non-agriculture workers to 403 pesos and 382 pesos for agriculture and retail and service workers. We're bringing you more stories after this quick break. Keep it here on One News. Thanks for staying with us here on One News Now. I'm Denise Tan. Here's a quick look at some stories making the headlines at this hour. The SETEX Pasig Potrero Bridge will be reopened to all vehicles starting Friday at 6 a.m. The bridge underwent rehabilitation to make travel there more convenient. The portion of SETEX was closed back in July for an emergency safety inspection. It was reopened on August 7 for Class 1 vehicles. Several areas covered by Maynilad will experience water interruptions beginning tonight at 6. These are in Parañaque, Pasay, Muntinlupa, Las Piñas, and Cavite. The water interruption will last for 7 to 21 hours depending on the area and could continue until Sunday. Maynilad explained that maintenance activities are needed at the Putatan Water Plant in Muntinlupa, which is the water source of areas affected by the service interruptions. Some 530 kilos of shabu worth 3.6 billion pesos were recovered at a warehouse in Mexico, Pampanga. The illegal drugs were placed in boxes of food and are believed to have come from Thailand. The packages also reportedly went through Subic ports legally. This is believed to be the biggest haul of the Justice Department so far under the Marcos administration. Another drug haul, authorities have seized over 76 million pesos worth of cocaine at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport. A Singaporean mother and her daughter tried to whisk through NAIA Terminal 3 carrying the illegal substance in a bag. Officials said the suspected packets of cocaine weighed about 14 kilograms and were guised as souvenirs bought from the airport. The Singaporean nationals are facing charges for violation of the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act of 2022.
The two suspects came from Dubai, tapos nagpunta ng Doha and pumunta rito sa Pilipinas. Considering the fact that they are Singaporean national, no? Why is it that instead of going back to Singapore, no, punta sila rito, and apparently again dun sa ating initial interview, they are going to another country pa.
The Philippines secures its first silver medal in the 19th Asian Games courtesy of Filipino wushu artist Arnel Mandal. Mandal bowed down to Chinese home bet Haidong Zhang in the men's 56-kilogram wushu finals. Zhang won the gold medal while Mandal settled for a second-place finish. This is the fourth time in this year's edition of the Asiad that a wushu bet won a medal for the Philippines. So far, the country's medal tally has 1 silver and 3 bronzes. The UAP is back for its 86th season this Saturday. What can we expect? Here's a report. Fueling the future. This is the theme of the much-anticipated return of the UAP for its 86th season this Saturday. The University of the East will serve as host of the biggest multi-sport collegiate competition this year. New sports will highlight the latest season, which will be announced soon. New UAP Deputy Commissioner and former baller Mariana Lopa said women's basketball will also be highlighted this season.
Representation in women's sports is super important. It's super key. Not just for the on-court action, especially in women's basketball, which will have a lot of good games.
Aside from that, some young guns in men's basketball are also anticipated to show out now that several star players of teams have graduated. Among them is Lebron Lopez, who is eligible to suit up for the UP Fighting Maroons this year.
Yung impact niya as a player, marami na may idea pa paano siya magdo. He's very athletic, no? But sa akin, yung impact niya of being a team player, yun yung gusto ko makita ng tao.
Reigning champions Ateneo Blue Eagles will feature a revamped squad now that key players like Dave Ildefonso, Ange Kwame, and Fortsky Padrigao are gone.
We don't defend titles. This team stands on its own 2 feet. It's never won anything, not a single game. And so we can't speak in terms of championships at this point. I think that, and I'm sure we'll cover that up here later.
The crowd favorite men's basketball tournament opens this Saturday with a doubleheader between the UE Red Warriors and UST Growling Tigers at 2 p.m. before Ateneo opens its title retention bid against the NU Bulldogs at 4 in the afternoon. Both games will happen at the Mall of Asia Arena in Pasay. All UAP games can be watched live on One Sports, UAP Varsity Channel, and Pilipinas Live app.
Signal TV is very excited and more than ready to bring the games live to millions of fans nationwide via our Signal platforms. Starting this Saturday, all UAAP games can be seen live on Signal's newest sports streaming platform called Pilipinas Live. So this allows fans to watch the UAAP whenever, wherever. And of course, there's our free TV channel, One Sports. And of course, the UAAP Varsity channel on Signal TV. So this is a channel where the UAAP games can be enjoyed in high definition and offers more UAAP content.
One News Now will be back tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. I'm Denise Tan. We are One News, all sides, all the time.